Yes, it's not Friday, it's Monday, I know, but I didn't get to do it on Friday, so I'm doing it today. I'll probably change it. Didn't have a chance to change it in the automated stuff. I will change it. I will change it later. So just consider this a time warp into the future or into the past, what have you. But I'm here now at the turn of the tide. Oh, Brian Smith just had a session 0. Nice. Post-apocalyptic hex crawl using the Weird Wasteland 5e supplement. Wow. Well, I don't know anything about Weird Wasteland, Brian Smith, but drop me a link somewhere. I'll check it out. I'm just posting this because I have a Patreon, I have channel memberships. I don't do as much as I could. I'm always trying to do stuff. So I posted this for channel members and patrons, but I thought I would share it here. This is not its final form, but I thought I just kind of put it together, or I've had it kind of mulling around in different formats, and I just put it together into this sort of form. So I thought I would go through this real quick, and then I thought what we might do is actually go to itch and see what's kicking around itch, something a little bit different. So this is it's a little helper. This is just a page. Depending on how it ends up going, it might split to a spread, whatever. But right now it's a page. I don't know how useful this will be to people, but I'm always looking to try to come up with things that either I might find useful or I think other people would find useful. I know that one thing that comes up is kind of this, like, where are they within the hex? You're in a 6-mile hex, but where the heck are you? And remember, when you're looking at your hex map, let me go back, pull up our good old map over here. Might be looking at, well, this is Isle of Dread will work. I was going to go. So you might remember your hex is just going to show you, especially if you're using old style symbol, but even if you're using kind of newer style ones, you're going to get only the vaguest sense of what's in your hex. Kind of jungly forest, hills, whatnot. So you might come and say, well, where are they in the hex? If you know, you know. They're coming in from the south, they're pushing north, they're probably in here, but maybe they're moving around a little bit, or you just want to, you're not sure. You can roll a die, it'll tell you about where they are in the hex. Obviously, if the die roll doesn't make sense, ignore it, roll again, or pick your spot. This can also be if you needed to get their heading. Maybe they're getting lost. Whatever's going on, they were trying to escape somebody, so their emphasis was on evasion as opposed to navigation. So now you need to go, oh gosh, they came in this and they've been running around trying to avoid the bug bladder beast of Targ. Where are they now? Roll 6-sided die. And I put it in a nice table here too with, okay, you can be going south, southwest, northwest, north, northeast, southeast. Of course, we're keeping in mind, right, just because of the way the hex faces are, you don't get flat east or west. Don't panic. You can, it's in real life, it's really hard to ride an absolute line of direction like that. So, just assume if they're in 5 or 6, but they want to go west, just assume they're sticking to the more westerly course, but they are either hedging a little bit north or hedging a little bit south. Same thing for east and west. Obviously, because of the flat sides here, north and south, they're kind of immune from that particular effect. Let's see if there's anything else there. Oh, so then the other thing, well, it's a little bit, the order is not the way I would like it, but it's hard to, everything just doesn't fit correctly. So something else that comes up, secondary terrain. You are in hills, but hills are rarely just hills. They're hills with something. So you can roll, hills would fall under uplands. You can roll their uplands and you can get what the sort of sub-hex or secondary terrain. If it's hills, what else is going on? Forest, grasslands, stream, rivers, ponds, lakes, valleys, ridges, or peaks. And so I have that for kind of the main hex types. So you have grasslands, woodlands, wetlands, uplands, highlands. So this is hills, islands, mountains, wastelands, your basic desert, barren, whatever. And then finally, a D66 table of, hey, I need a feature. We decided they're in the southern pie piece of the hex. I've rolled their hills. They're also in a forest. That's great. But now they've run into something, or I want to put something in here. What might it be? I made a D66 table. Could just be empty. could be poisonous vegetation, could be in an anti-magic zone or a high magic zone or a zone of law or chaos. There's a bunch of things in here. Most of them, up until number in the sixes in this D66 table, they're pretty much mundane. Once you get into 61 to 66, there are your sort of special things: magic pools, planar portals, zones of law or chaos, and then with particularly powerful high magic, like it's really there's a high magic. I don't know what would be the word, like just imbued with a lot of magic, or somehow some kind of anti-magic zone. So it's a quick one pager. If you're a patron or channel member, you can just go and download it right now. This will end up in other forms somewhere else, but I thought I would show it because I just kind of did it and went through the process. And again, it had been in my head in different formats, but this is kind of where my format's at right now. And I guess since I'm showing it here, the one thing I'd like to know, if you're looking at this and saying, yes, I could use this as it is, or this is okay, but I could use something else, or maybe this doesn't work for me at all. Let me know. Let me know, because this is, it's all in a process. Ryan says, something they realized with their group prepping to hex crawl is the concept their group making decisions efficiently as a group of players. We have to plot course, gather resources, and whatnot. Not just I use smite because I'm a paladin. Seems like we need to be able to make decisions well together to make the game move. I mean, it helps, right? It definitely. I mean, the more I think in any situation, the more that your group players and everybody can make decisions better, the better off everyone will be. And then it's going to be up to, I mean, obviously, hopefully your players have kind of buy-in. Maybe post-apocalypse is going to be appealing for folks in ways that, say, a fantasy hex crawl might not be, because we have a lot of really evocative fiction of either just post-apocalypse like Mad Max, or there's been a bunch, but Mad Max maybe the main one, which has some sort of potentially hex crawly elements depending on which movie you're watching and what they're doing. And then things like Thundar, if you want to go kind of sci fantasy, same thing, wandering through these really cool, funky combo sci-fi fantasy areas. But yeah, it's and I think if they can get together, make decisions, easier on the GM, because the GM's going to have this decision, right, that everyone's made, and it's going to probably stick. And then, you can kind of lean into what I feel like some of the fun stuff is. I found as a GM, and I think some of the players I play with found too, is that there was some fun in the expedition part of really looking at it like you're getting ready to go on this journey. What do we need? What should we pack? Do we think we're going to meet folks along the way? Should we bring stuff to maybe trade? Or are we going to hunt? Are we going to travel light and then hunt and forage as we go? Or are we going to just bring all our supplies with us? How many hirelings are we bringing? What do we think? Are we going to be, do we feel like, or do we think we're going to be, I don't know, successful? Like, or do we need a wagon? Are we gonna have enough stuff coming back? Or do we need stuff? Are we going deep enough away and we feel like we're going to have enough coming back that we want a wagon and horses? And then do we need people to watch the wagons and people to take care of the horses? Who's going to watch them? All this kind of interesting, fun, or at least I think are fun. And they add a lot of these variables that I think as a GM end up being a lot of fun to work with. Oh, Bryce was playing in this one. Yeah, I would definitely pack enough. If you're going in the wastelands, definitely pack enough. Pack food, I'm thinking of like the old computer role-playing game Wasteland. I know they made a remake of it not too long ago, but the Wasteland, get your radiation packs. And I guess if you're playing Fallout, same thing. Get your radiation packs, get your food, watch out for the mutants. Hey, Axie, kind of pre-discussion, Axies. I just went through this. I shared it for patrons and channel members. I just kind of went through it. Just a one page helper, and I'm looking for feedback. I am opening this for feedback. This is basically an inside of a hex, so you can roll a die to see where inside the hex your party is, or they're heading, or both. If you need a secondary terrain feature for your hex, for let's say you're in the woods and you want, this is a woods hex, and you're wondering if what might be, say, in one of these pie pieces they're in, you could roll on this, and maybe you get a glade, or you get a swamp, or you get a stream, a river, a little pond, something like that. And then if you want some kind of feature, like a thing of interest in the hex, then you can roll on this D66 table and get features from mundane stuff like there's nothing to kind of rot and muck to, game trails and kill sites and small game, large game, all the way up to stuff like zones of law and chaos and planar portals and high magic or anti-magic areas. But that's just this. Like I said, if you're a patron trail member, you can actually grab this and look at it at your leisure. If you're not, and you give this a watch, let me know if you feel like this is something that you'd find handy. If you think that something I'm missing or I can add to make it more handy, or if you feel like this is barking up the wrong tree. Yeah, I think oftentimes, right. So it actually says, or AXE, sorry, it says pine pieces as opposed to sub-hex maps. Yeah, I mean, I've drawn sub-hex maps and they're great. And I think once you've nailed things down, if this is somewhere the party's going to be spending extensive time, maybe it's becoming an adventure area, then you probably want to sub-hex map it out. But I think often you don't need to. And then what you can do is you can actually use this to build up your sub-hexes, basically. I mean, there's like 1 or 2 hexes in here. There's some overlap, but basically you could create your sub-hex map sort of underlaying this. You roll in here and you get, oh, this is a forest overall, but here is a glade, and in that glade was a pool. Okay, great. So I could draw that in. But if it's something where they're just going to be moving through, I don't need to take that step. If it's somewhere that, oh yeah, the place where they're going, the adventure site somewhere in here, then I can kind of nail it down. But I like to try to keep things as abstract and easy as possible until I need to concretize, solidify it. So I think this works. And yes, Krister says you can also have sub triangles. Yeah, you can divide it in many ways. Since I'm kind of using 6-sided dice, being able to divide it into 6 works. But yeah, there's tons of ways to do that. Or you could even have, inside a hex. You could have a hex inside a hex. But I feel like these pie pieces do a pretty good job. Other than people who get kind of weirded out by the fact that there's no straight east or west thing. But, like I said before, just assume that your party, even if they're going straight west, for example, that they're cheating, northerly, a little bit northerly or southerly, and they're just slightly here or slightly there, kind of thing. AXE. Okay, I'll try to get that right. All right. So that was that. So I just wanted to share it. Like I said, it's here on Patreon with the lovely little picture for it, and it's also for channel members. It's if you go to the community tab on YouTube, if you're a channel member, you can grab it and check it out. And otherwise, yeah, give me your feedback. Feedback, please. See more feedback. So now what I thought I might be doing is interesting for today, something a little different, is which I haven't done before. I might mix it in. I did Kickstarter a while back, and I'll come back and do like a Kickstarter thing. I don't know if there's a good time to do Kickstarter or not. Folks seem to have them. I'm not generally in the loop on what's being kickstarted, but I thought maybe to change it up to something differently, we could go and look at what's going on itch and maybe preview a few things, see what's what. Just take a look, see what's. I'm on itch. I follow people on itch, but I don't often check it out. So I thought it might be fun. And of course, if you have things that you think are interesting or worthwhile, then let me know. This week on tap for this week, I'm gonna be looking at Kismet. A couple people reached out and said, "Hey, you got to check out Kismet. It's another FKR style game." I think some folks said it was sort of the kind of text for FKR. I'm going to check that one out. I think that Against the Dark Master, my physical copies should be arriving imminently. Once I have those, I have the digital copies already. Once I have those, I will do that. And then maybe also, just because it came up and I've been wanting to look at it for a long time, I haven't, is White Box FMAG, fantasy medieval adventure game. So I'm thinking some combination of those 3 will be this week. We'll see how far that goes. Against the Dark Master is huge. I might do a kind of Forgotten Lands. What I've been doing more, it maybe segment it out, because I think even giving it a full hour, I'm not going to get that far into it. So either I'll do piece by piece, or maybe I'll pick stuff out. If you're familiar with Against the Dark Master and you think that there's something that's super marquee that is the thing that's kind of not to be missed about it, let me know, because I'll make sure to look at that. And then Kismet, I think, is more manageable, and I'll have to look at FMAG to see I'm not sure how much is that. I'm not, I have people pointing out all the time, and I actually, I grabbed the free PDF from drive-through, but I don't remember ever actually looking at it. So yet. So I'm not sure. I'm not even totally positive if it's a retro clone. I'm guessing it's a retro clone, or is it a? Let me know if there's, because I only have the vague notions. I feel like maybe it's just because I see here white box. I think of retro clone. Terrence says FMAG. Yeah. Yes, exactly. PHMAHG, something like that. Yeah, I need to, because it kept coming up. A commenter was comparing it to Cairn, and in terms of it being like a better bang for your buck purchase. I feel like I don't want to get on a tangent, but I just find the pricing of stuff in the TTRPG space, especially for digital stuff, especially for kind of indie type stuff, is so all over the place. I just don't think it's safe to. I don't think we're at a spot, because people price things so differently for very, very different reasons. It's very hard for me to say, well, because this person priced theirs at $4, it's a better bet than this one. Well, like, when I talked to Yohai Gal, he doesn't really want to be a games like retailer or games seller. He just wanted to promote something. So he's not trying to make money off of it. He's avoiding making money off it. So his thing is priced for that. So free digitally, and then just at cost for printing. Something like FMAG, I don't know where it is. And it's weird too, because I don't know how they're being printed, but on Amazon, it's $4 and change to get one printed, or to get a print copy. I don't know if they're printing it or how that works. Lulu, there's a version on Lulu you can get. And these are all I followed. I found the FMAG official site, and I looked, and they had links to Amazon, Lulu, and drive-through. The Lulu one is $1 more than Amazon. So, and maybe that just is a scale thing. I mean, Lulu prints a lot of books, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how that breaks out. Is it exactly the same quality print? I don't know. So there's Lulu. So you go from 4 something on Amazon to 5 something on Lulu, and then it's 20 and change on drive-through for, I think they call it like a premium soft cover, which I think is the only version of the soft cover one. So I don't even know what's going on there. Cairn, for example, on the other hand, it's $3 exactly on drive-through, and $3.82, right, something like that on Amazon. I don't even know what to make of this stuff, but people price things. Some people want to price things because they want to get good buzz, word of mouth, so they don't care about making that profit. But I feel like there's often this race to the bottom with that sort of 99-cent, the App Store, 99 cents kind of thing. And I just don't think it's fair, because I don't want, people should be able to be compensated for the time and effort they put into stuff, and not be compared to somebody who has a really great job and doesn't want to do this kind of full time, or whatever their reason is, saying like, I'm just going to give it away. And so because they chose to give it away out of the goodness of their heart, and somebody else who wants to earn a little bit of money on something that they make is suddenly like, it's trash. And it, like I said, it's not fair. I don't know any way I don't know, no way to fix it really. Maybe it'll swing back around. I feel like print is going fully the other direction, when people are really making more and more decadent print versions, physical versions of their things. So the print prices for print stuff is going up. I mean, and prices are going up anyway, but I think that a lot of the people are making, I guess, really good quality print books, but maybe going a little bit above and beyond. And then digital stuff, it's like this race to the bottom. And if somebody does price something that's probably appropriate for the amount of time, effort, and money that they've spent, suddenly people are screaming that that's too much, or it's not worth it because somebody has some 200-page book that's half as much. It's loony. This is pay what you want, please. And that'll probably hit here too, because they're going to see stuff with price tags. Again, I'm not. This is not a review, because obviously we're just going to go see stuff. I don't have any way of quantifying Death Sentence at $5 versus the Weekend Screamer at $12. Right? I don't know. But it'd be nice if we get to a kind of like, here pricing that actually promotes living wages among creators if they want to do it. Maybe there's everyone wants to put like, this is AI, or sorry, everyone wants to make a little graphic that says, not AI, right? Human made. There should be another one that's like living wage. Like whatever what you're paying for this PDF is to support folks living on. Other folks may want to print something and price it as hobby. Like, I'm just doing this and I might make a couple of bucks, fine. Other folks need to print it like, no, I want this to be a sustainable venture. So I need to price it accordingly. And maybe there should be a nice little symbol for that. Priced accordingly, priced for a living wage. Maybe that can be. So somebody make a symbol. Terrence, could you make a logo for me? Priced for a living wage. You can, goof it up a bit if you want. I don't know. Maybe I'm all right. Enough of that. Enough of that horrible reality. What do we got here? I'm just going to go with stuff that catches my attention. If you see something that catches your attention, shout it out. Or, better yet, type a message. But if you want to, shout it out. I won't hear you. Coworkers, significant others, neighbors, pets might, but So this one just happens to be on sale. It's called So You've Become a Mythological God. All right. And who is this by? This is by Beth and Angel Make Games. This is a submission to the, this is my, I'll open that up in a new tab because I might want to check that out. This was submitted to the Myths, Fables, and Folklore Tabletop RPG Jam. And right now it's 34% off. Well, you did it. You're a mythological god. Whether you Santa Claused your way there or bested them at some kind of competition, you're now the god of, what was it again? Oh, well, it doesn't really matter. Whether you're the god of hammers or the god of entering a room and forgetting why, you get to be a part of a grand tradition judging mortals. Players take turns as the judge, requesting to hear about mortals who have demonstrated one of their preferred traits. One by one, the other gods around the table tell a tale of a mortal they've witnessed demonstrating it. But beware, the other gods are observant too, and have further insights that will show who that mortal really is. Whichever god's mortal the judge chooses gets a point, and the mortal gets a blessing. With 4 variants and loads of customization, you'll be laughing and competing like gods. And just now, you can make it godlier. And then there's a little note about it being on sale. So there we go. Oh, I see. So they've got kind of stretch goals. All right, this is interesting. So they're doing kind of I think I've heard a phrase for this, like itch kicking or itch starting or something. So they've got some stretch goals here during the until the end of November. And as they continue raising money, they're going to make some low ink versions. I guess that means maybe that the current version's fairly high ink. A 1-page version, and then a series of some zines. In the unlikely event that they hit $100, is that really that unlikely? I don't know. They've got a Patreon, all right, and then we can get it for $1.98. All the community copies are gone. Oh, that's a good sign. And here we can say, oh, maybe I see, because they've got, so the background on this, I don't have, obviously no community copies, so I can't take a look at one. Maybe I should put a vote. Maybe there'll be something to do. Maybe what I'll do is, after the stream, maybe I'll put a vote on the things that we covered, and whichever wins, I'll go and get one. I'll go and grab one, and we can read through it. So for now, we're just going to go through kind of whatever they post. And then later on, I'll put a vote about which one might get extra coverage. How does that sound? Hey, Ian, I know today's not Friday. I just copy pasted stuff over, hit the button. So I should have put Mead Back Monday or FMead. My Feedback Monday. I don't know. I like the alliteration, but yeah, I'll change it. I'll change it later, but it's all right. As they say, somewhere it's Friday. Is it? I don't think that's possible. Somewhere in time, it's Friday. Sometime is Friday. Okay, so we just have this one page, excuses. You may total as many dice as you'd like to equal the excuse number you want below, but all dice used to create this total are placed on the page and discarded later. We don't know what that means. Basically, get some options here for excuses. They had a rough day. A goose attacked. There was glitter involved. All right. Kind of fun. So that was, so you've become a mythical god. Oh, Ian, you were in Mexico last week? Oh, nice. Hope you had a good time. I should probably know. Let me open these in tabs because I will Or, wait a minute. Can I add to a collection? Yes, I am going to add to a collection. Let's see. This is, should we call it Itchy Monday? Sounds gross. Itchy Monday. All right. Let's see. There is something in the castle. I mean, that sounds good. All right. This one is called There is Something in the Castle. So remember what we're going to do here. Yep, Itchy Monday. We're going to cover what they give us in these previews. Then I'll put up a poll and I'll leave the voting up, and then we can vote on which one to cover in more depth. And I will purchase or download if it has no purchase, or I'll probably put a buck or two down, even if they have, name your own price like this one, and then we'll go through it. So I feel like that's pretty good. I feel like that's a good deal for them. It's a good deal for us. Good deal for everybody. Right, this is Bloody Sunday and Itchy Monday, something like that. I mean, with the bed bugs that are sure to be flying in from all over, courtesy of the Parisians, we'll all be itching soon. I'm not looking. I suppose for some of you that's less of a concern, but given that I'm in New York, it's a real danger that we're going to have another bed bug epidemic. And I've just been drinking. This is just sort of lukewarm English breakfast tea from Fortnum's for the working man. Fortnum's breakfast tea blend, a little bit of milk, a splash, if you will. All right, there is something in the castle. This is a beta. You have always lived in the castle, and the castle has always kept you safe until you wake in the night, certain of neither the hour nor the reason, but of this: there is something in the castle. There's Something in the Castle is a short-form storytelling horror game about a familiar place haunted by an unfamiliar presence. Wander the rooms of your castle, converse with its inhabitants, and discover clues about something else that lurks there. Play it by yourself, with a friend, or with a group. And of course, play it in the dark. Originally written for the Paper and Pixel Zine exchange on Tumblr over the span of about 3 weeks, with mechanics partially inspired by Dark Fort, I don't know what that is, and ye old procedurally generated dungeon crawlers. As of right now, this game has not been play tested. As such, feel free to ignore anything that makes no damn sense or just doesn't work for you. You should do that anyway. Personally, and please let me know what it was. There will probably be a second update at some point with slightly more refined mechanics. Premise is pretty cool. So this is here's just looking at one of the pages that was left here. A storytelling game of castle exploration and creeping dread for one or more players. You will need some stuff. By yourself, this is a story you are telling to yourself. As you enter each room, record the contents and note any inhabitants. Why are they there? What woke them up in the night? Are they haunted by the same creeping dread that haunts you? And then with 2 players, one player roams the castle and the other unfolds the tale before them. And then if you have more than 2 players, you move counterclockwise. Each player generates a room and its contents, and then the player to their right describes the room and gives voice to its occupants. When you confront your creeping dread, make it the sum of your fears. Let's see. Terrence says, Dark Fort, isn't that just proto-Mork Borg? I mean, we're looking at the etymology of the name, then yes. That would exactly be the prototypical Mork Borg. But I just don't know. Dark Fort is obviously a thing. They didn't link it here, so I don't know if it's, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Yeah, well, let's look at some of the more of these pages. I like the layout and the artwork. Exploring the castle, you begin in your bedroom, stately, ornate. You begin with your night clothes, a candle, and one of the following. You might have a lucky charm, a knife, a companion, or nothing at all. The hallway outside your bedroom has 3 doors leading in any direction. When entering a new room, roll d20 for the type of room and d4 for the doors. Draw them facing any direction. No door, retrace your steps to explore previously unopened doors, 1 door, or 2 doors. When entering a room you've previously explored, there's a 1 in 4 chance of something drawing closer to you. Roll a d4. On a 1, mark a block on the dread clock. Ooh, they've got a dread clock. So here they have a d20 for what kind of room you might be going into. So that's that page. And then we have the something. There is something in the castle. You may collect clues that paint a picture of what something might be. Physical signs that something has passed this way, a feeling, a presence, information from others in the castle. At the end, something itself. Then we have some more notes, and then we have roll d20 for the something, or the traces, I guess. There is something in the castle. Very cool. I mean, it looks, the layout and everything's very evocative. Looks cool. Brian Smith says, choose your own adventure. Well, it's more like generate your own adventure. It's you're creating the contents as you go. It's as they say, what a short form storytelling horror game. But it also, I mean, I could see it being useful if you wanted to build out a castle in a more, or any kind of structure in sort of a gothic, haunted, kind of spooky horror kind of way. But there's no preset story or anything like a choose your adventure. You're not going, go see page 22. I think you're going to come up with those somethings yourself, right, Smith? But we're only seeing tidbits of the book. So just to reiterate what I'm going to be doing with this one, and we'll see how this works this week. And if we more of this, but we're going to go through itch, just picking out stuff that interests us. I'm going to make a poll that I will put live after the stream. And then we will pick whatever the winner of the poll is, I will buy, purchase, download, and we'll go through it more completely down the line. That was There's Something in the Castle. Did I add it to a collection? It is. It's an Itchy Monday. All right, that's where I'm putting the stuff. That was There's Something in the Castle. Let's see. A cozy city exploration game for the curious. We did Mythological Gods. Shall we go to Dark Space? Okay, so this is I'm gonna skip. I want to do ones. Oh, the other thing, I'm just as a rule, I'm gonna try to do stuff that's kind of the main thing is here. So this is one. Dark Space is a mission pack for a game that you can get elsewhere. So I want to get to like where the main thing is here. Not that I don't mind if it's part of a series, but I want to be like, if kind of a core sort of book. Sea Witch Journal, The Weekend Screamer. I don't know what this is. Let's check it out because I have no idea what that looks like. Something out of the Yellow Submarine movie, Beatles. This is The Weekend Screamer, number 113. Itchy Monday, sung to the tune of Witchy Woman. Yeah, or maybe Manic Monday. Just another Itchy Monday. You recall the Bangles? Boy, my sister loved the Bangles back in the day. She'd drive me nuts playing that stuff over and over again. Anyhow, The Weekend Screamer, number 113. I think these are jokes. Magazine Review Monthly. What you're looking at here is a news magazine from a different reality. One part salacious trash and one part good reporting. Originally published in Troika City, a sphere of existence from the Troika TTRPG. Get a little peek at the latest comings and goings of the impossible city at the center of everything. This Ezon is available to download in EPUB and webpage formats. All proceeds from the sale of the zine go towards keeping a trans mom, her wife, and 3 kids sheltered and safe. So that's a good cause. All right. So I've never heard of this before. I don't know anything about Troika City. I don't really know that. I played. I keep confusing it. I think Terrence, that was the game that I was in that you ran, right? Over at the Homebrew Detritus podcast or the gaming channel. Check it out, Homebrew Detritus on YouTube. Wasn't that Troika? But I think that's the first and last time I played Troika. If that was Troika, if I'm confusing it with Knave or something else, I apologize to whichever one I'm insulting. I'm really not insulting anything. All right. Let's get a taste. Oh, actually, let me remember. Let me add this to Itchy Monday. Oh, add it in there. Okay, it was Troika. All right. I got that right. Editors, welcome. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and envies, angels, demons, amoeboids, plus everyone in between and beyond. It's your girl, Sanquilina, and I'm here to tell you, watch out. This issue of The Screamer contains tantalizing cosmic tidbits not meant to be known, but more than that, you will find the latest trends in fashion-forward linguistics. It's extralicious. The hottest new luxury tools in Troika City, certain truths revealed via city parks, and of course, the most mathemologically accurate horoscopes around. Enjoy, readers. As for me, I'm fixing to drink. Splash of dilute phosphoric acid, half jigger of orange bitters, 2 fingers of mentholated simple syrup, plus a heavy glug of 2-0 cinnamon whiskey. Shake that ish well and drink it on the rocks. Yowza. It's an ice fire confusion, babies. The coolest and hottest new drink around. Jared said it's a gazetteer. He thinks. Helps you build out your own idea of Troika City. That makes sense. Whoops. We got, let's see, Thus Spake the Velvet Ape by Tomfort Eyeglass Jr. In the beginning was writ the end, the ideas, the lenses, philosophies, forms, all concepts that would be, were. And lo, those concepts in opposition had already begun their struggle, the perpetual war of law and chaos, the endless chase of day and night, the ceaseless procession of bickering seasons, and the quiet war between soft and hard. Sorry for the low, it's just the sort of purple note that comes to mind when you find yourself face to face with an avatar of a primeval spiritual force. They will come for me soon. I am sorry. It is not your fault. The first words he spoke to me, and then impossibly resonant whisper, were an apology and reassurance. I took my seat across from the 600-pound gorilla wearing a sky blue velvet suit. Chatter at the tiny cafe dimmed as he lowered his mirrored shades, revealing wet, lavender eyes. Oh, JT had fun with Webtember. Yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my Webtember and get stuff prepped to actually push out to patrons and whatnot. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun, JT, and I enjoyed reading the stuff you posted. So hopefully you'll do more. And places like Itch, like all these, there are a lot of jams. So JT, I think you asked me at one point where you could find other stuff like that. And besides just being on social media where people will tend to come up with different things for different months, jams on Itch are a good spot to find some things to do as well. So check out all the different jams for physical books, and there's usually, and I feel like there's always at least a couple of different role-playing game related jams. They won't all strike your fancy, but even if you don't end up wanting to join one necessarily, it could give you some, inspiration to do something on your own. And this blurb is called City Parks and Law Enforcement Overreach by Multiplicitous Prime. City parks alone will not save us. I want to be clear about that. They are important, vital even, but alone a spot of grass and trees with a slide and football field will not give us liberation. What even is a city park? For the purposes of this article, it's an open area with vegetation and specialized recreation equipment. Children's play equipment, outdoor grills, sports paraphernalia, etc. Crucially, a park must also be free of charge and open to all members of the public. Now, what can city parks tell us about the abuses of law enforcement? Well, did you know that the President's Secret Police, the Phoenix Imperial Guard, and various mayoral police departments only report the total number of arrests made in each Troika City neighborhood to the Mathematical Oversight Committee? There exists no externally available records of arrests by crime, former nationality, species, or any other demographic. Ooh, clearly there's more going on there behind the scenes. Oh, I almost missed the horoscopes. Horoscopes. This week's issue will save lives. It is expected the grounded stars will be especially vibrant over the coming week. All the while, an itinerant yellow nebula will obscure the civilized signs: swords, towers, monolith, crown, and distaff plus spindle. Obscurement of order, stagnation, stillness. Oh, darlings, this means it's time for big changes. Time for something new. Advice according to the star sign. The sword, girl, just dump him. The towers, girl, please dump him. The monolith, girl, just dump him. Go on, do it. The tree, girl, just dump his ass. You're a beautiful flower. He's just trash, spray painted gold. The eye, girl, just dump them. The lizard, girl, tell him to kick rocks. Those are fun. All right, so that was Weekend Screamer number 113. So while they're doing 113, that's a good amount. I mean, I don't know if they started from one, but all right, what else we got here? Guardians of the Seas. Do we want Guardians of the Seas? I guess Spielfeld generator. Oh, it looks like some kind of hex generator, but it's in German, I think. Looks like it anyway. Let's see. Fragmentary folio. As usual, call out if you see something that looks good to you. Let me know. Whispers of the Possessed, biosignatures. I would look at this one, but I don't know enough about Mouse Ritter. I need to read Mouse Ritter Prime before I look at stuff for Mouse Ritter, I think. But still, I'd rather look at something. I don't want to look at just something that's a bestiary or a list. Look at like, adventure, rules and an adventure. Guerre d'Enfer. Oh, here you go. That sounds interesting. Cursed Blades. Add this to Itchy Monday. Good. Let's see here. I'll close that. Okay. This is Cursed Blades, a role-playing game about cursed katanas and vengeful Vengeful. I don't know if that's a typo or is it supposed to mean something that I don't know. Vengeful spirits set in the Meiji era. Dave says they're a huge fan of Mouse Rider. Yeah, I need to read it. I need to read it. I mean, there's so many things I need to read. Over 500 years ago, the brave samurai Prince Kintaro defeated a group of malevolent spirits, followers of Shutendoji, the Demon King, and sealed them within 3 magical swords. However, in the Meiji era, these blades have fallen into the wrong hands, leading them to possess their wielders, seeking to fulfill their original mission, overthrowing Prince Kintaro. Players take on the roles of these cursed spirits trapped within the swords, each possessing their unique personalities, abilities, and motivations. Together, they must find a descendant of Prince Kintaro who might hold the key to their liberation or revenge. All right, so this is obviously because of the nature of it, it is literally a 4-player game. I suppose if you had less than 3, maybe you could less than 4, you could do it, but there's no point in having more than 3 players because each one plays the sword. Jared says that Mouse Reader rules. It's basically the same as Into the Odd or Cairn, though. Okay, I still will read it. It's people seem to just really. I never hear anything negative about Mouse Rider. So, Jared says basically Cairn with Glog magic and a mouse theme. Cool. All right, so that's the skinny on Cursed Blades. Looks like we get a quickie kind of character sheet. Which cursed spirit are you? Get some demonic attributes, and then you pick the kind of current NPC you've possessed, and then looks like it goes through some chapters. Okay, that's just the inside page. Intro, I think we already kind of got an intro, and that's it. Okay, so we don't see too much about it, but basically, you're taking on, you're playing as vengeful spirits set in the Meiji era, looking to, I guess, avenge yourselves against the descendants of the prince who imprisoned you. Did I add this to a collection? I did. All right. So that was Cursed Blades. Give the Harkonnen a blade. Okay, there's Input Brain, a zine for Vast Grim. I don't know Vast Grim. Anyone know Vast Grim? Let's go down here. Rise of the Ghouls. And that one, Itchy Monday. Okay. This is a pamphlet adventure. I think isn't it pamphlet as opposed to pamphlet? Jared says, I think about Mouse Rider, it's a really clean and concise book. I think it gets a lot of praise for being a good entry point into both the OSR style play and RPGs as a whole. And it's a good entry, not just because of mechanics, but the theme is really friendly too. That's a good point. Those are both good points. A collapse within Burnwick's crypt has unearthed previously unknown catacombs. Since then, ghouls have been sighted prowling the cemetery at night. Due to the guard indifference, Xander, one of the city's counselors, has decided to offer a reward to anyone brave enough to delve into the crypt's depths and uncover the origin of this ghoul plague. This leaflet is all you need to run your next dungeon. Easily include this in your campaign or play it as a one-shot. Encounters are designed for a 3 to 4 level 1 party. You could play it in a D&D game as I designed the game, I'm speaking as the author. Design the game with this rule set in mind, but you can also run the adventure in whatever system you want with minor adjustments. Print this file and fold it as a pamphlet. All right, let's take a quick look. So here, just got to look at what it would look like if you printed it out and folded it up. Here's the map. It's kind of in a pixel block style. Reminds me of an early Ultima game. Really, even down to the sort of pixel font. So we have, let's see. I'm not going to go through the whole dungeon, but we've got traps, chests, ghoul nests, some kind of puzzles, and corpses. Monsters are pretty much in kind of classic, light D&D style stat blocks, just with your hit points, armor class, speed, XP, and what attack they have. Get some rumors. You get a D4 table for looting tomb loot, random traps, like I said, the aforementioned rumors, and then we get the descriptions of the rooms in the dungeon, and that's it. Bang zoom, easy peasy. Vast was something called Vast Rim. Sounds dirty. It is a little. Yeah, I suppose I could see that sounding a little bit dirty. That was Rise of the Ghouls. Did I add it? I think I did. I did. All right. Okay, where else can we go? What else have we got? Shadows on the Ferry, another pamphlet style. This is a funnel. Jared, not wanting to go into the is Karen a full game discussion, but they say that someone who read Karen before they acknowledged BX rules, I was super lost. I think that's unfortunately, I don't say it's Karen's fault, but yes, I think that is something that a lot of the rules of a lot of these sort of OSR and NSR games are written for people who are coming from something else, or they're coming with some foreknowledge, some previously obtained knowledge of classic D&D style role playing games, or even modern D&D style role playing, but certainly some kind of role playing game. And to be fair to them, you're doing this whole thing in 20 pages, and they're not not even letter size pages, right? Small zine size pages, so you don't have a lot of room to go and expound on things like what are those what are dice, how do you do this? I mean, it's really a double-edged kind of thing. I think when people print those sections, oftentimes folks who are experienced with games will kind of roll their eyes and go, oh great, we need another page or 2 pages to tell us what a d20 is and what the notation looks like. We've seen it, but at the same time, if you're not coming from a place where you're familiar at all with sort of BX, for example, style D&D, then those, not necessarily that kind of section, but some intro kind of stuff could really help a lot. And Jared says that Mousewitter does a really great job of distilling all that in a single book with no prior reading needed. Yeah, that's really good. I think there should always be at least some games like that. Hey, oh, here we go. What about this? This is called Tomb Robbers of the Crystal Frontier. I'll add this to Itchy Monday. Lowe's. So I see that some folks have joined in. Just to reiterate, I'm kind of going through Itch, picking out stuff of interest. I'm only going through what's put on their Itch product pages. But then what I'm going to do is after the stream, I'm going to put a poll up on YouTube. You want to go there and pick, and then whichever one wins the vote, I'll come back, I'll buy it, and then we'll go through it in detail. So I'm going through a lot of these, as many as I can get through in brief, and then one of these lucky games will win a full coverage on a later episode of the Hex Press show. Bear says that Mousewitter has a whole example dungeon and hex crawl and procedures for writing your own. Oh, I really need to read it. You're selling me on it, Jared, to move it up my list. But I do want to read it. Okay, so Tomb Robbers. Tomb Robbers of the Crystal Frontier. Welcome to the Crystal Frontier. Adventure in a desolate, magic-stained wasteland where fabulous crystal spires and fortresses plummet from the skies to tempt the desperate and the bold with magical gems and golden treasures. Find your fortune or find your death as you plunder the fallen sky tomb of an Empyrean despot. Scheme with the unnatural denizens of the Crystal Tomb. Unravel the secret of the dead king and his realm of misrule. Loot strange magics and opulent treasures from beyond the sky's vault. A complete adventure. Oh, I see. So this is for errant, apparently. A complete adventure for errant characters and an introduction to both the dungeon crawl style play and the Crystal Frontier setting, written with the new referee and players unfamiliar with older style games in mind. Tomb Robbers of the Crystal Frontier is built to start a campaign, use as a one-shot, or to drop in as an adventure locale in almost any fantasy world. This version of the adventure has been designed specifically for the errant RPG. Tomb Robbers of the Crystal Frontier emphasizes problem-solving, faction intrigue, and exploration in the tradition of classic dungeon crawl adventures, but with a phantasmagoric fantasy western aesthetic. Ooh. All right, that's a long one. So Jared's heard good things about Crystal Frontier. Okay, and apparently Yochai Gal reviewed it on their podcast not long ago. Cool. Well, I think I did add it to Itchy Monday. So, well, if this sounds good to you, it sounds good to me, but I'm not going to vote. The vote's for you guys, not for me. So I will abstain from voting. So if you're interested in Tomb Robbers of the Crystal Sphere, let me know. It's definitely won some awards. Winner of Best Adventure at the 2022 Ramaran Sivaranjan Awards for Excellence in Gaming. Questing Beast, I guess, anointed it as Best Adventure of 2022. Also called it a masterful starting adventure. 10-foot pole reviews called it among the best. Cosmic Query called it the perfect line between vanilla and weird. And then Fear of a Black Dragon said that their players had a lot of fun with it. It was really fun to puzzle out. So there you go. And we get, don't get any inside stuff. Oh, the day. Okay, link me to Mouse Runner on Discord. It's pay what you want on Itch. All right, cool. Thanks, Dave. I will check that out after this is over. So we don't get any interiors, but you get art's nice. Oh, here we got a dungeon-ish map. Hey, Hunter. Welcome. Let's Tomb Robbers of the Crystal Frontier. Okay. What do we got here? I got about 8-10 minutes left. So what else? Let's see. Warped Beyond Recognition. Add it to Itchy Monday. This is a downloaded. Oh, this is an RPG module for Windows and Mac OS. What? So this is, I guess, has to do with Mothership. Why does it say like that? It's not software, right? It is, or is it? Oh, weird. Okay, so it's, I guess it's software. I guess it's PDF and software. It has some kind of remote desktop. I don't even know what that means, but so I'm not super familiar with Mothership, but I'll add it to the. Did I add it already? I did. So Sean McCoy, creator of Mothership, says that of Work Beyond Recognition, that this is the Mothership project that they've been waiting for since we first came out with Mothership, one of their all-time favorite adventures. Cannot recommend it highly enough. Explore a spaceship, hunt down psychics, learn the secrets of their powers, descend into madness. Work Beyond Recognition is a module for the Mothership sci-fi horror RPG, in which your players will explore a research vessel in deep space, uncover the site of a terrible series of experiments, and discover their ultimate purpose. If the test subjects don't get to them first. Work Beyond Recognition is the first Mothership module from Quadra, creator of Trash RPG blog, which I'm not familiar with, featuring the Mothership community's favorite house rules and various tools for wardens to streamline and spice up their games. Quadra has a ton of experience running Mothership. I've been a warden for a campaign running for over 50 sessions, a campaign which started with a homebrew adventure that became the first prototype of this very module. If you want to see how an early version of Warped played, check out the first few entries in the serialization of the campaign. The module comes with a full soundtrack with ambient tracks for each floor of the spaceship that makes up the setting of the module, and signature tracks for each of the test subjects the players will encounter. The module also comes with a mixer app that wardens can use to live mix the module's soundtrack by Gale and Drew. It also contains a bunch of extra materials and background information about the module, tables for your games, and more. Ooh, all right, so there's a lot there. I don't know if it's quite, so Jared says, is it an app-enabled adventure? Not quite, but it seems like you get, well, let's look at, so first we get the screen. That's cool. I guess that's probably the PDF. And then you get, I guess this must be the app. So it seems like you get a dice roller. So it's put some generators, dice roller, music mixer. I mean, it's really cool. I guess it is. I wouldn't say it's app enabled because I usually think of those as requiring the app, which this obviously does not. But it's certainly like an app enhanced, maybe would be the word I'd use. Pretty cool. So that is Warp Beyond Recognition. If you're interested in that one, vote on it. But just to reiterate, there's got to be a better way I can post things instead of just replying it. But I know that folks, I see the numbers and people drop and people join. So I'm going through a bunch of these on Itch in brief. I'm going to post up a poll after I get off of here. And whichever poll of the things that we looked at in brief, and then I'll leave it up to you guys to vote. Whichever one wins, I will buy it, download it, and then we'll go through it in depth. So if you one of these really looked good to you, vote for it. Tomb Robbers seems like it would be. I mean, they all seem like they would be cool. Tomb Robbers certainly seemed interesting. This one seemed interesting. This one being where is it? Where was it? I don't know. Did it vanish? Well, warped. Whatever, warped. Jared says it sounds cool. They like the idea of supplemental multimedia, but really hate the idea of tech being required for an RPG. Yes, I mean enough people do that to themselves. I remember seeing on somewhere in social media someone saying like, "Oh, I've got this great setup with the look. They look amazing. You see someone's got some TV screen or monitor, then they embed it in their table, and they got all kinds of stuff. But then the same person was then saying, "Oh, but now I feel like if I don't have all this stuff, I can't play." And I think when it gets to the point where you can't play without all this stuff, then you've lost the plot a little bit. And no offense to folks who have that stuff, I would love to have it if I could. Right? I'm not coming from a place where I'm trying to say like something whatever. I would love to have it, but at the same time, I want to always be able to just play the game because that's always been the fun thing with TTRPGs that I don't want to get lost and I don't want to lose it for myself. Is that you don't need anything. Show up with your book, some dice, and a piece of paper, and you can game. That was always the best part. Oh man, what do we got? I got anything, but I got a piece of paper and some dice, and I can pull a book off my shelf or have it in my bag, or heck, I don't even have a book at all. We can game. If it gets to the point where the technology is no longer helping you, but now you're chained to the technology. Oh, I can't play if I don't have all my minis and all my terrain and my apps and my digital tabletop. Well, I mean, it's kind of turned into a different thing, I think, a bit. And I'm not trying to throw shade on folks who play with that stuff. I wish I could, but I don't ever want to get to the point. If I ever get to the point where I have that stuff and now I think I can't play without it, then some line has been crossed. Kevin says that Tomb Robbers has an OSE version. They think the Errant specific version is new. Okay, cool. I mean, I might grab the Errant one. I mean, Errant is pretty. I mean, I did like a 10-hour coverage of Errant a while ago, so I'd have to refresh my memory with it a bit. But either way, either one, that or the other one, it would work. Hunter says they struggle with this as well. Jared says not only does it feel antithetical the idea of tabletop role playing games, but it would really suck if it means you can't play if those files go away. Yes. And Jared says they dislike those TV tables. Seems like so much work to manage. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to run it for myself. Sure, I agree with you. I don't even want to deal with regular digital tabletop stuff. I'm fine with Theater of the Mind and just using Discord for chat. So I totally agree with you. But it looks snazzy when they have it. But yeah, I guess it's in that too much work. Too much work. Dave says they've made fancy game tables for miniatures, but they still bust out grid paper and use dice. Yep. And real C comments, it was epic coverage of Errant. It was certainly epic. I don't know if it really helped anybody out. I mean, look, I'm sure some people got it, but it's one of those things that probably went on longer. I probably should have been more structured, but it was fun. It was fun. Okay. So this is called Goblins, the King of Revelry. This will probably be the last one. How many did I get here? So, all right. So this will be, I've already got it. All right. So I'll set up the poll. We'll have 8 things to choose from on the poll. This is the last for this week. Goblins, the King of Revelry. A group of goblins established in a nearby encampment. For days, they have indulged in wild celebrations, reveling in drink and chaos. These troublemakers possess an assortment of treasures and various objects, all of which they are willing to offer as prizes to anyone capable of besting them in their own games. Whoever manages to triumph in all challenges will be hailed as the King of Revelry and shall claim the grandest prize of them all. This leaflet is all you need to run your next adventure, easily included in your campaign or play it as a one-shot adventure. Encounters are 1-versus-1 wrestling battles for level 1 to 2 characters. You can play it in a D&D game as I designed the game with this rule set in mind. Okay, so this is the game. I'm seeing, so this is from the same person who now I got to do one more because this one's by the same person who did the other one-pager, and I don't want to have two. So all right, I'm gonna nix this one from the list because we already have one from this creator, and I don't want to. I want to kind of keep it. There's Warpbound Recognition. I don't want to have more than one from one creator on a given week. Tara says they play over Zoom, which is why they're hesitant to do mouse reader and its tactile encumbrance system. Ooh, now that's tactile encumbrance system. Tell me more. All right, where I need one more. Let's see. What the goblins? Yeah, I got you already. Canticles of Willowberry. See, I need to read Mouse Reader because it seems like there's another Mouse Reader one. I haven't read Lancer yet, so I'm gonna. And that's 4th edition. I kind of don't want to go back in the 4th edition or 4th edition adjacent. Space Lion, Glass Mile, or Mouse Ritter. Come on, Mech Borg. Do we need another Borg at the moment? Astral Bazaar. Playbook. Campus Sphere. Come on, something pop out at me. Dave says that I guess it's about the Mouse Ritters. Encumbrance method. You have little pieces of paper with items, and they all take up space, Diablo 2 style. It's amazing. I see, but that is how do you the Dave? Do they have that in? Have they converted that to Roll20? How do you do if you're playing online? I mean, yes, if you know, does that translate well to play online, or how does that work? Still looking. Here we go. What's this one? All right, this one's called Pantheon. What's winter one? Raid LC asks if the winter one from Luka Regic is on here. What is the winter one? I'm happy to go try to find one if there's one I should find, but let's read through this one. Pantheon. Roma Imperatu. Oh, it's not in English. Okay. Should have checked that before. All right. If someone can point me, can I select a tag? Let's just go to top rated. No. All right, Radels, he's going to try to pick that one out. I want to avoid doing the big ones. I'm not going to do. I'll do Mouse Ritter. I don't want to. Mouse Ritter, I'll do for sure myself. I don't need to. I don't want to. This is for more, I guess, smaller things. So, while I'm here, I do want to see. Some people have mentioned to me 1,400 or 2,400. All these like. What is it? Is it a bundle? What's in the bundle? I know people like this. 1,400. Long winter. All right, let me add this. No, I'll add this to my just RPGs. Yep. Okay, I'll come back to that. This one's called Long Winter. Long Winter Referee's Book, Long Winter Visitor's Book. What's the difference? This book contains secret knowledge and mechanics for the referee. The visitor's book is the setting gazetteer. So which one should I do? Which one? Long Winter is the RPG sandbox. Long Winter. All right, I guess. Oh, the sale ended. Permanent bundle. It's not a permanent bundle because it's. No. Well, that doesn't help, pal. Okay. I'll add this. I'll add the referee's book, I guess, and if it's all right. All right. So we've got a list. Game Master has a playing card mechanic. Okay. Well, I'm gonna assume we'll look at the referee's book for this purposes, and if it wins, then I'll figure it out. If it wins, maybe I'll just pick them both up. I don't know. Well, I'll just play it by ear. But I've got that one in the book. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to. I won't bore you with setting up the poll while you guys are all online. I'll just, as soon as I end the stream, I'll go and I'll put these all in a YouTube community tab poll. So go to YouTube / I think at Hexed Press, and go to the community tab, and you will see the poll in a couple minutes, and that will have this list of eight or nine things that we looked at briefly here. Figure out which one you want to look at, vote on it, send it to your friends, invite your friends, invite your enemies, invite your family to vote. Stuff the ballot boxes. I'm not going to vote. I'll wait for you, and then let it run for a few days while we're doing other stuff, and then maybe at the end of the week or maybe next Monday, we'll see. We'll go through these, and also let me know. Do you like this format? Like kind of going through some brief stuff, and then maybe kind of setting something up for later. Let me know what you think. I'm always looking for kind of new things to do, new wrinkles to add, that sort of thing. So I'm going to get cracking on the poll. I will let you guys go. Have a great rest of your day, night, whenever you end up watching or listening to this. Always give me your comments and suggestions, feedback, wherever you can find me. Ray LC says tough choices. Good. Should be tough. Game on, everybody. And I will talk to you later. Bye now.